Welcome on in to another episode of Getting Wild with Terry and Friends. I'm Terry, that's Bryant, and we are going to break down some Sunday baseball. So we're going to do things a little bit differently today. We're actually going to break down every game. Some games will be really brief. Some games will be a bit longer. And I'm going to actually have the odds on screen here using Bet365. So we will just jump right in this first game here, starting in about an hour. Baltimore Orioles are in Boston facing the Red Sox. Zimmerman against Pivetta, plus 165 for the Orioles on the money line, minus 185 for the Red Sox, a total of 9 in this one. They split the doubleheader yesterday, with Baltimore getting the win in the second game. Zimmerman looked really good to start the year, but in his last couple of games, it was against the Yankees, though. He has started to regress here. Nick Pivetta, the complete opposite. He started off absolutely dreadful to start the year, and I was enjoying fading him. And now he's gone completely on the other side. He's won his last 3 starts in a row. He gave up 3 earned runs in the last one in 6 innings against the White Sox. One earned run and no walks, and 2 hits against Houston in 9 innings the game before that. And the game before that, 7 innings, a win against Texas, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk. He's not really walking anybody. He is allowing some hits, but he's not getting overly hit. He's getting strikeouts. He's getting wins. He's playing well. His Boston team is playing well. So I do like Boston here on the money line. Obviously, minus 185. You can't really do much with that, so I will have it in parlays. I haven't quite got to this game yet, but I do like the Red Sox to win this game. Bryant, Orioles and Red Sox, what do you think here?
Yeah. How you guys doing today? For everyone watching, it's easy for me. I love the Boston money line here in this spot. It's minus 190, so I don't recommend taking that solo dolo. Parlay it with something else that you like. I'll be parlaying that with the San Diego Padres money line. And I am going to double up on the Boston Flare today, and I'm taking the Celtics to win Game 7 as well. So that's what I'm going to do it with. Nice little payout. But ultimately, I also, for value purposes, I think you have to look at the F5 run line, minus a half. I got it at minus 135 for that particular price. I like it. And a couple of the reasons I like it are honestly, Boston's playing pretty well as a team. Obviously, you see the background here. I'm a Yankee fan, so it's paining me to say some of these things. But when it comes to money, I don't care. Nick Pivetta, his last 4 starts, he's gone at least 6 innings in each one of them. He had a complete game against Houston. And in those 4 starts, he's given up 5 total runs. And Boston is 4-1. Yeah, Cubano. I know we're Yanks, but it's a money thing, man. I think he's pitching pretty well. He just is. It's kind of undeniable at this point.
Yeah.
That's really kind of all it boils down to. I think he's the better pitcher here. Zimmerman's actually not been that bad. Some of his metrics look fairly decent. He actually has a better ERA. I think that's partially because Pivetta has some really ugly starts at the beginning of the season. But Zimmerman's ERA is 3.48. He doesn't really strike out people, so there's nothing really to glean there. Both guys keep walks down. They're both under 3 and walks per 9. Their FIP and their Sierras are all pretty similar. So all things told, like this isn't a completely uneven pitching matchup. The one thing I will say is Zimmerman has allowed 9 earned in 11 innings versus New York in his last couple of starts. Boston's hitting the ball pretty well. So if he's not on his game and he kind of pitches the way he did against the Yankees of late, you could kind of see the same kind of results happening. But ultimately, I just think Pavetta is too strong, and I think that the Boston bats, obviously led by Trevor Story, who's he's batting 267, but every time he seems to hit the ball, it's an RBI or an extra base hit, home run, whatever. He's got 9 home runs, 25 RBIs in the last 25 games. Devers, Bogarts, and Martinez are starting to come around. So everything for me is pointing to the Boston. And with that being said, I think I'm also going to sprinkle a little bit on the run line at plus 105, just a little bit. So, I think it's an all Boston thing. They win this 5-game set, which is absurd. That's very rare. It doesn't happen that
Yeah,
often.
that's true. Oh, because maybe the rain out?
Yeah, I think they just combined it. I think it was already supposed to happen, but yeah, they combined all of it. They played 5 games in a row now. Or they will. I think tomorrow they play again. But anyway, yeah, those are my picks for this game.
Why can't the Jays get 5 games against Baltimore? Well, we'll move into the second game here. I'll be quick on this one. I don't really have much opinion. Freeland versus Gray. I would lean towards the over 9, but I'm not really excited to it. I'm not really excited about it. Ozai Gray is pretty bad for the Nationals, but he's a righty. Rockies are better against lefties. So this game is I kind of just zoomed right past it. So it's a pass for me. Bryant, any thoughts on Rockies and Nationals?
You know what? It's funny you said that you just zoomed right past it because I love this game for a lot of reasons, but I'm going to name the main reason. Kyle Freeland. I know you look at the numbers and you're like, what? How can he say this? Just some deep digging on this. And because I knew I wasn't tripping, I couldn't remember who it was. And it took me a second. But obviously we all know the big betting, hoopla about the Rockies and the road and how they look different at home and all this stuff away from Coors at Coors. Freeland is most notably the biggest guy that's impacted and pitches better against or when he's away from Coors. So you see the 4.85 ERA. That's total, that for the entire season. But on the road, it's 1.17. And he has a 1.174 whip. And he's given up 2 runs in 15 innings on the road. So he is a vastly different pitcher on the road than he is at home. He probably hates every time he sees his name come up when he has to have a home start. He just looks better. And then I went back and I actually looked at some of the clips of the games. His location seems better. Just everything about him looks like a better pitcher on the road. And with that being said, you take into account that, and then you look at Josiah Gray. He has some really underlying numbers that suck. He has a 5.13 FIP, which means that he's walking guys, which makes sense considering he has a 3.74 walks per 9. And he's given up a lot of home runs, which if we go and take a look right here, he is top. He's right there in the middle of the pack and giving up home runs as well. He's given up 4 or 5, I should say, 5 home runs. So he'll give up the home run as well. Ultimately, all this leads me to say it's the Rockies. It's the Rockies for me here. I like the Rockies on the money line. It's at plus 102 is what my book has it at. And I like the Rockies plus a half at minus 130. And I think if you want to feel secure and safe, I would probably parlay this with some other picks. I love degenerate parlays in the sense that I like to go 7-8 teams. But it's like super conservative. It's nothing like ridiculous. I like the Rockies plus 1.5 here as well. It's minus 170, which isn't bad considering that they're playing another bad team. And I think that they have the pitching matchup too. So you get a lot of security there in that little bunch. It's the Rockies all the way for me here. I'm having fun this Sunday. I don't know. Yesterday Chad Cool, he did what he does best for us, and that's make us some money. That man is awesome. I would highly suggest you guys tap in when me and Terry hop on Chad Cool because he just keeps delivering outside of like maybe like one or two starts. So, but other than that, I like the Rockies here. So that's what I'm going to roll with in this matchup.
All right. You're kind of talking me on to the Rockies here. And then Cubano's kind of against you. He likes to watch the Nationals team total over.
I don't think that's wrong. I think that there probably are going to be some runs. It's the Nationals and the Rockies. I could see
Washington's offense can sometimes explode out of nowhere, and then
yes, and the Rockies have a horrible bullpen. So we could very well I could cash this at 5, and then the rest of the game could go to crap because the Rockies bullpen sucks.
Also, I wanted to give you a shout out from yesterday, Bryant. I'm sitting here watching this the Padres game. My parlays are all coming down to the Padres, and then as soon as they lost, I was just thinking, you know what? Brian said to kind of stay away. You said you're like I don't really think you're just like I don't, and you said to stay away.
I told you, man. I just did not have good feelings when I woke up yesterday morning about that game. I said it.
And you were right. So I wanted to give you a shout out for that because I was thinking about that last night. I finished up 9 units yesterday, so I can't complain about the day. It's just the Padres really, it would have been an enormous night had the Padres not did what they did. But we'll move on to the next game here. Miami is in Atlanta. Plus 185 for the Marlins, minus 225 for Fried and the Braves, a total of 8 in this one. Looking up at this last night, I thought, okay, this is a perfect Atlanta spot. I'm going to hammer Atlanta. Miami's much better against righties than they are lefties. This is a great spot. However, Hernandez has pitched really well, pretty well in his last 3 games. And it's kind of somewhat scared me off the Braves at such a big price here. Hernandez on the year, he's 2-4 with a 5.24 ERA. But in his last game, he only pitched 1 inning. But the 2 games before that, both losses, he only gave up 1 and 2 earned runs, 3 hits, 4 or 5 innings. So, and 1 game was against Atlanta. So I guess he hasn't been winning, but he hasn't really pitched horribly here. Fried on the other side, in his last 3 games, he's got 6 innings in all of them. 5 hits, 7 hits, 9 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 earned runs, 4 earned runs, 2 walks in every game, 5 or 6 strikeouts. So he's being pretty consistent. I basically passed in this game. I was going to hammer Atlanta, but at this huge of a price, I just decided to stay off. Bryant, Marlins and Braves, any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, this is the easy one for me. I am all in on Max Fried. As my dude, I love watching him pitch. Shout out to all my friends that are Braves friends. That'll get excited seeing me say that. I like the Braves here. Minus 105 for the run line. I'm seeing on Bet 365. My book has it at minus 110, which is something I very well can get behind. The F5 run line is very dicey. You only get it at minus 145 on my book. So if you can get it somewhere better, I think that's a good bet. I think you can even bump it up. It was something that I might consider. I might bump up the spread for the 5 inning to minus 1.5 and get plus 115. But with that being said, I'm gonna explain why in a few short sentences as to why I can't get behind the Marlins here. Eliezer Hernandez has given up 11 home runs. The Braves have some home run hitters. Acuna can take you deep. Olsen can take you deep. Ozzie Albies can take you deep. Austin Riley can take you deep. Ozuna can take you deep. The weather's nice in ATL today. I'm sure they got a nice little breeze. Last time I checked, nothing is really speaking to me to fade the Braves here. I think you can mix the money line into a parlay with a bunch of other things. But ultimately, I see the Braves winning this, and I see them winning by 1 or 2 runs. I can't get behind a guy that has a FIP of what we're looking at 6.23. That's the highest out of anyone that's pitching today. And that's because he's given up 11 home runs. And his walk rate is also at a 3, or not walk rate, but his walks per 9 is at a 303 in comparison to Max Fried's, who's at 1.10, which is honestly the best out of anyone pitching today except for Zach Greinke. So I can't get behind the Marlins in any way, shape, or form here. This is like one of those picks where it's either that one team or you just stay away from completely at all. But you go in on that one team because everything is kind of pointing you in that direction. If you lose, you don't hang your head about it, because if they lose, it's probably because of some, it's a fluke performance, right? But the numbers are all indicating the Braves kind of run away with this, and I kind of agree. So you get their best pitcher against the Marlins, not best pitcher, arguably probably their worst pitcher. Um, yeah, let's go.
Not quite sure what Kuban is talking about. Oh, you're muted.
Yeah, it's a movie. That's all.
Oh, it's a movie? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just like, I'm not quite sure what you're talking about, but okay. We'll jump into the next game. And this one I really do like. This one I really like here. The Guardians, minus 165, are in Detroit facing the Tigers, plus 145. A total of 8 in this one. Tristan McKenzie is a really good pitcher. I've watched him against the Jays, and it's frustrating. It's frustrating to watch him pitch because he's really good. In his last 3 games, a win against Houston, a win against Toronto, a loss against Minnesota. In the loss against Minnesota, he went 7 innings, had 3 hits against, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. And that was his bad game. In his good games against Houston and Toronto, 7 innings, 6 innings, 3 hits, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 2 walks. McKenzie's pitch just amazing here. On the other side, Alvin Rodriguez, he has only pitched in 2 games this year. He's gone 5 innings in one, 2.2 innings in the other. Both games he's given up 4 earned runs, 3 hits, 4 hits, 3 walks, 2 walks. Hasn't had a very good start. And now he has to come and face a team that is good against right-handed pitchers in the Guardians. I understand the price, and I took Cleveland first 5, minus a half, which I got at minus 110. I really like that. I also have Cleveland money line in parlays and Cleveland first 5 in a parlay as well. I think this is a hammer spot for McKenzie and the Guardians here. Bryant, any thoughts in Guardians Tigers?
Yeah. I didn't even realize. I don't know what happened. I'm looking at the screen, but I didn't even realize it was McKenzie pitching. I don't know who I thought was on the mound. And then I heard you talk, and I was like, oh crap. Yeah, I'm actually behind the Guardians right now. I wasn't gonna bet this game at all. But there's one thing that I really like about this particular game. One, like you said, the right-handed splits for the Guardians, or the right-handed batting splits for the Guardians against right-handed pitching. They knock it around pretty well. And then 2, maybe people forgot about this, but the Tigers were the team that McKenzie faced last year when he almost threw a perfect game. He was 4 outs away. So I think there's some good energy. He probably feels a lot of good energy when he sees the Tigers. He's a solid pitcher, and I think he's still growing and learning. I think he's going to be a really good pitcher for years to come. But yeah, no, it's McKenzie here. I'm gonna only make one play here, and that's going to be on the F5 run line, minus a half, minus 125. You get the better pitcher. I think the Guardians give me enough runs, and McKenzie does what he's supposed to do and keeps this game, and keeps the Tigers at bay, and this cashes. That's my only play for this. But yeah, I like it. I like it, and if I'm not mistaken, The game is in Detroit, no less, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, which is exactly where it almost took place last year too. He almost threw a no hitter or a perfect game in Detroit. He was 4 outs away. I like the energy, and I'm sure he probably does too. And this is actually his first time I think pitching there since then. So yeah, let's go with it. And yes,
Exactly.
Spliff, you're correct. Jose Ramirez is very good, very good baseball player.
And so yeah, I did mention the Guardians good against righties, but I didn't mention. I mentioned all year about Oakland. Detroit has fallen right where Oakland is against righties, the bottom two in the league. So Oakland, Detroit, if they're facing a right-handed pitcher, you don't want to back them. So I love Cleveland in this spot.
If I was a little bit more risky, in terms of, or if I just didn't care about units, like because I had like one of those extraordinary weeks where you just bringing it in, I would probably sprinkle something on like a Detroit team total under, at like some crazy plus money value, considering they suck against righties. And
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think it would be a good pick, but I'm just gonna stay with this F5 run line and keep it safe.
Okay. We'll move on to this game. I'll be really brief on this game, but I'm sure you'll have a little bit more to say about this one. Yankees, Rays, Severino, McClanahan. I do think there is a pitching advantage here with Tampa Bay and McClanahan, but I don't think it's minus. I don't think they should be minus 140. I get it, they won yesterday, but that just makes it even more more likely that the Yankees will bounce back here. I wanted to take Tampa Bay first five, but I'm not taking minus 130, which is the best odds I could find for it. I'm not taking minus 130 to fade the Yankees. So this ultimately became a pass. I do have Tampa Bay money line in one of my parlays, just as something different, but not overly a huge opinion for me here. Bryant, Yanks, and Rays. What do you think here?
Yeah, guys, I apologize. I let you guys down on the stream yesterday. I had the Yankees in my best bet. It looked great for a little bit, and then the wheels fell off. Screwed my boy Garrett out of a very crucial strike call, and then the wheels fell off for him, kind of, sort of, but more so for he got out of it, and it was just 1-1, and then Lucas Lecky just tanked it, and Michael King couldn't really clean up Lecky's mess, and the Yankees ended up losing the game in a start that Cole pitched 6 innings and threw 10 strikeouts. So that was just dumb, honestly. Me and Cubano actually talking about this yesterday. Yeah, Mike wasn't really my issue. It was more so Lucas coming in the game. But anyway, today is a new day. I agree with Terry in the sense that yes, the Rays probably have the better pitcher on the mound. I said they have the better pitcher in the sense that I think ultimately McClanahan is probably going to end up being a top 5 pitcher in the MLB in the next like 2-3 years. He's insanely good. It's a shame that the Rays won't be able to pay him. They won't pay him, and he'll go to like the Dodgers and replace Clayton Kershaw in like 2 years. That's exactly what's going to happen. But the dude is he is a savage on the mound. His K rate's at 37%. His Ks per 9 is at a 12. I say that because I think there's value in a K prop. The Yankees have a lot of guys that strike out. And his K prop is sitting at over 6.5 minus 143, which isn't that good. But if you go and you look at something like strikeouts at least, I think you can get value at like strikeouts. You can get at least 9 strikeouts. It goes up to plus 160. It's something to consider. I'm not going to advocate it because I'm not going to bet on a guy to strike out my team. That's where I'm going to draw my line at. But for non-Yankee fans and people who are looking for ways to fade the Yankees, without necessarily taking the side. I think that's hella good value. Hella good value right there. But ultimately for me, I like the Yankees here. Sevy's pitched really good in his own right. He's given up no more than 3 runs across like 3 of his last 4 starts. He's a good pitcher, man, and he can go toe to toe with McClanahan here. I think anyone that tells you otherwise is pretty much lying to you. I don't know why they're plus 122 favorites, but I feel like I just can't. I can't really. I can't sit there and go against my guys there when you have that type of value. I think there's a safer option with the plus a half, minus 120. I think that is probably a better value in terms of going too crazy and getting the full money line play. It gives you some security. You can get in and out, and then you don't get screwed, kind of like what happened yesterday if you took the Yankees full game. Yeah. And I also, to that same point, because we talked how good the pitching is in this matchup, I really think that there is big value again in the F5 under 5. I think it's cash in almost every game this series, if not every game this series. Definitely 3 of the 4. It's minus 130. I don't know why you wouldn't take it. You get two really good pitchers again. The Yankees are down bats. I think it's good value. And I don't think Sevy's going to give up enough runs to push it over. If anything, McClanahan's obviously the safer option pitching wise. But I don't think Sevy's going to give up enough runs for that to go over the total either. So the F5 under looks good. I would stay away from the full game because it's only 6.5, and the Yankees put up 5 one game when they got to the game 1 when they had Cortez pitching. They put up like 5 after like the 6th inning. So I don't know about that. But yeah, the F5 under looks really good as well. But ultimately, like I said, I've got the Yankees money line, and I've got the Yankees on the F5 plus a half and minus 120 on my book. So yeah, those are my picks.
All right. Yeah, this is like a hockey total. This is like the Rangers facing the Lightning or something.
Yeah. And I just, like I said, again, and I keep going back to it, but I gave you a long spiel about it. With the Yankees' biggest arms, some of their best arms out of the bullpen, like I just can't. And yesterday was a prime example. Garrett Cole went out, and they immediately gave up two runs. Those are guys who wouldn't be pitching in a close game per se, with the exception of King. He's just regressing. He's just having a little struggle, but they give those guys are the guys that if you're gonna attack the Yankees bullpen, those are the ones that are gonna give up runs. And right now I can't get behind unders at 6.5 when we have those guys in our bullpen. Sorry.
Yeah, that's how I feel about Julian Merriweather. Yesterday for the Angels. I get it's Mike Trout. Mike Trout hits home runs, get everybody. But as soon as I saw Merriweather coming up, I'm like, oh, great. So I messaged Nick. I'm like, oh, you're going to get your over. Don't worry. He did. The battle of Chicago, the Cubs and the White Sox. Stroman against Cease. This is a pass for me. Cease was really good to start the year, but he's had 2 really, really bad games. So I would lean with the over 7, but I'm not touching this game. Not one that I really want to get to. Bryant, Cubs and White Sox, battle of Chicago.
This is 100% my sweatiest game of the day. I can tell you 1,000% it's going to be the sweatiest game of the day. Largely because the range of outcomes in this game are astronomical. I think there's very real chance that we could see a pitching duel. And then there's also a very real chance that I could see like 16 runs being scored. And I am not really sure where I'm getting a read on and which one is going to happen. Because let's take a look at it, right? The Cease is really good. He's a very talented young arm, right? Stroman is a pretty wily, not like old veteran, but he's been pitching for a while. He knows how to get guys out. He'll battle. Like for example, their last 3 starts respectively, Cease has given up 7 runs and had horrible, horrible game against the Red Sox. I mean, absolutely disgusting. Um, oh man, I don't want to think about it again. But then he gave up 0 runs against KC. And then the start before that, he gave up 6 runs versus the Yankees. So I don't know how to read him right now. And then Stroman he gave up 2 against the Reds, 3 against the D-backs, but it's the Reds and the D-backs. And those were the Reds before they look like they do right now, where they've been like winning games, backdoor covering everyone, mashing the ball. So we got to take that into consideration too. And then he allowed 0 versus the Brewers. So when you look at that, it's like, who am I getting? Like, what versions of these pitchers am I getting today? For that point, I think that ultimately, I do think the White Sox win. But I don't know if I'm going to put it on the money line. I think I'm just going to go with the minus a half at 5. I got that minus 115. That's where I'm gonna go look to spend my coins on in this particular matchup. And then the rest of my picks in this are primarily because I don't believe in either one of these bullpens. And I ultimately think that both of these pitchers give up runs today. So I like the White Sox over 3.5. You can get it minus 130, which is better than the money line value on the White Sox at minus 150. And I also think the White Sox score over 4 runs, which is plus 105. And to that point, I like the Cubs over 3 and the Cubs over 3.5. The Cubs over 3 is minus 125, and the Cubs over 3.5 is plus 115. So in saying all that, I think it's very clear that I think the over is going to happen. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I just want runs. I don't trust either one of these pitchers right now. I trust Cease more, simply because he's at home, and there's no way he can replicate the performance that he had against the Red Sox. Like, he can't get worse than what he looked like against the Red Sox, right?
Let's hope not.
Yeah.
Well, unless you're on the over, then
Yeah.
hey.
But yeah, so that's where my coins are going. I need runs. I'm expecting runs, and yeah, let's do it.
All right. Again, yeah, I kind of agree with you with the over, especially a 7.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so
Both of these
this
guys.
game.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good.
This game, my favorite game of the night, the Royals plus 170, or Minnesota minus 200. Greinke against Sonny Gray here, a total of 9. Greinke this year, he has started in 7 games. He's 0-3 with a 5.15 ERA. Sorry, he's started 9 games in total with a 4.3 ERA, 0-3. He's coming off a game in Arizona where he lasted 3.2 innings, gave up 7 earned runs on 5 hits, 4 walks, and 5 strikeouts. The game before, at home against Chicago, 7 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. The game before that in Colorado, 8 hits, 5 earned runs. He seems to be a much better pitcher at home, where he is not today. He is on the road. Sonny Gray on the other side has pitched pretty well for the Twins. The Twins, the shocker this year, I didn't expect them to be in first in the division. I didn't expect that at all. And I definitely didn't expect their starting pitching to be as good as it has been, but it's been good. Sonny Gray, in his last 2 games, obviously it is Detroit and Oakland, but he went 7 innings and 6 innings, both wins, 0 earned runs against Detroit, 2 earned runs against Oakland, 1 walk in the 2 games, 15 strikeouts and 10 hits, and 13 innings. He's pitched very, very good in his last 2 games against 2 bad teams. Well, here's another one. KC Royals are also a bad team. I like the Twins here. I like the Twins first 5 minus a half, which I was shopping around and was able to find at minus 125. I like the Twins full game run line minus 1.5, which I got at plus 106. And then I like Minnesota money line in different parlays. This is just a hammer spot, I think, for the Twins today. They have the lineup advantage. They have the pitching advantage. They're at home. This is just pretty much a home run spot, I think, for the Twins today. Bryant, Royals and Twins. Any thoughts here?
Yeah, I told you this before the game, or before the show, I should say. I wasn't really interested in this game in like the slightest, because I don't know what I'm gonna get from Greinke. Like I feel like every time like I've ever bet on him, or at least with him being the Royals this year, um, it's a great, very very mixed results. Sometimes I get good, sometimes I get bad. I remember when he was on the Astros. I would like hammer the run line with him on the mound, and he would get rocked. It's just bad energy there. So if I had to pick, I'm staying away from this game. But if I had to pick, I'm going with the Twins. I don't think there's any value in minus 200 with teams of this caliber. So I think ultimately you just have to kind of go with the run line here. It's even money, or at least based on that 365 is line on on my own book. I'm seeing it at okay, it's even money on my book as well. So yeah, but minus 200, I'm able to get it for minus 195. So I guess it's like a decent, that's a much better money line look. Or you can do the F5 run line, but ultimately I'm going to stay away. But if I'm leaning aside here, it's absolutely the Twins because Gray has looked like the better pitcher. And that's kind of where I'm at.
All right. Cubano says any hit props. I have not had a chance to look at any this morning or last night for today. So I do not have any hit props. Sorry. Bryant, any hit props you like today?
I would probably sprinkle one on any of the Angels hitters against Barrios.
Oh.
Because it's Barrios.
Okay, we'll get to that game soon. Don't worry.
But yeah, that would probably be my one suggestion. I looked at one, and I only looked at one because it's he's the best player in the world. I think that you can get total bases from hits. You can get Mike Trout over 1.5 minus 104. I think that's pretty good value, all things considered. The dude's he's a machine. I think that's really the only value. But like literally just go through that list and look at Angels players against Jose Barrios. But we're about to get to that game, so I'll go on my tangent with that in a second.
All right. This one quickly. We'll move a little bit. Hey, as long as if you have time, we can go through them. But
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm not doing anything, and we still got some time before the game starts.
Best bets, yeah. That's why I just want to get the best bets and stuff before try to get them around 130. I don't know if you have anything in the 130 games, but my best bet involves the 140 in the Cleveland. But if not, I'll just give it out when we get to it. But this game I'll be really quick on. Burns Mikolas. I think it's going to be a pitching duel. The Brewers have burnt me the last couple days. I would lean with the Cardinals. I would lean with the under, both at plus money, but I'm not getting to anything in this one. Bryant, Brewers and Cardinals. Any thoughts here?
Yeah. Hold on. Let me get my. Here we go. I was leaning towards the Cardinals for a little bit here. Mostly because Mikolas is 6-2. He has a 3.63 ERA and 10 appearances versus the Brewers. But I also think it's a very good bounce back spot. I like to look at teams who get their like doors blown off. I like to look at them the following day. But even more so when the guy who's pitching the next day is Corbin Burns. That doesn't really happen. Like you don't get a team on the bounce back after they got blasted the day before and then say, "Oh, let's toss out an NL Cy Young candidate to get us right." You just don't get that all too often, and we get it here. I think the over 6.5 is ridiculous. That was what it was on my book, was over 6.5, or the total was at 6.5. Minus 130 seems like a very decent price, all things considered. The gap between Burns to Williams and Hader is very dicey territory for the Brewers pitching department in that regard, and I think that they could definitely give up runs. I also think that runs can come from the Brewers against Mikolas because in each of his last two starts, one was at the Orioles and I think the other was at the D-backs, he's given up 3 runs. So he'll give up some runs, and he's not a lights out type of guy. And I think we're going to see some negative regression from him as a whole over the next couple of starts. Things just kind of look that way. If you look some of the metrics here, where we at, we got it right. Oh well, okay. I guess I thought I had it. Oh, there it is. He doesn't strike anyone out, and his Sierra is at a 3.78. He's done pretty well with the walks, which is good, and his FIP is pretty solid. But ultimately, like I said, I think that there's reason to believe that he may hit a little bit of a patch here coming soon. And you take that into consideration with the fact, like I said, that you have the narrative with the Brewers coming off a huge. They got destroyed yesterday. I like Burns. I like Burns here. I also like any sort of Burns strikeout props. He has a second best swinging strike percentage in the MLB. And his last, 7 starts, he has posted strikeout numbers of 5-5, 7-7, 10, 11, 10, 8. I'm not a mathematician. I work in analytics for a living. But my math is is fairly solid. And that tells me that a strikeout prop of over 6.5 is that's free money. So why not bump it up a little bit more and go to like something like 8? Yeah, you can get over 6.5 for minus 150. So then if you go down to if you go up to maybe at least 8 strikeouts, 8 or 9. 8, it's at minus 130 on my book, and then 9 strikeouts, you get plus 118. I'm willing to take that with Corbin Burns. The dude, he strikes out guys. That's his thing. And guys just don't put the bat on the ball all too often. And when they do, if you can hit that cutter, you can probably do some damage to Corbin Burns. The thing is, most people haven't been able to hit his cutter. It's dangerous. It's probably the best cutter I've seen since Mariano Rivera. But that's what he's going to use to strike guys out, and the numbers kind of show that it works. So I like that strikeout prop right there. I ultimately like the Brewers to win on the F5 run line. I got it at minus 105, and that's minus 1.5 or minus 0.5. And yeah, and I also ultimately like the Brewers team total over 3.5 at minus 125. If I'm going to sit here and preach that Mikolas has given up some runs in the last few starts, and then you take into account that the Cardinals don't have the best bullpen, it's decent. It's not great. They could probably send to upgrade it if they want to be serious about contending. I think 3.5 runs or 4 runs is very feasible for them today. And at minus 125, I'll take that pretty much with anyone. Yeah. So those are my picks.
All right. We'll go on to the next one. I know there's been a familiar, I've been saying the words pass a lot, and unfortunately, I'm going to be saying it again. This one here at Texas Oakland is just an automatic pass for me.
Yeah.
I have no interest in looking at it at all. Over 8, slight lean, but otherwise, nothing. Sorry, guys. Bryant, Rangers and Athletics, the game of the night. Anything in this one?
Yeah, no, I don't have anything. I would lean, depending on how today goes, or these early games, I may hop back in on this. That's a very good call in that Cardinals game. Cubano, I really like that. I'm not a nerfy guy, but I think if I was to do a nerfy today, it would definitely be that game. I don't have a dog in this. If I had to lean any side, I would go with the Rangers. I just trust their offense a little bit more. But yeah, this is a very hard pass for me.
Luckily, there's lots of games on the slate, so we can easily just pass that one. Oh, and here we are. We're here. The Blue Jays, Jose Barrios plus 110. The Angels, Sandoval minus 130. A total of 8 in this one. The Blue Jays looking for their first 4-game sweep of the year after defeating the Angels in the first 3. As I said in yesterday's show, both teams are headed in opposite directions. The Angels now on a 4-game losing streak, the Blue Jays on a 4-game winning streak. If you look at pitching numbers, Sandoval does have better numbers than Jose Barrios. I still believe in Barrios. I know a lot of people, even a lot of Blue Jays fans, like really dislike him, but I believe in him. Okay, I believe in him, and he's shown at times this year. This isn't his best year, obviously. This isn't his best year, but he has shown games where he's pitched well, and then obviously games where he hasn't. I'm on the Jays here, plus 116. I'm not. It's not an overly confident pick. I'll be honest with that. But I believe in Barrios here. I think the Jays can steal one and get the win here. The Angels are just kind of slumping, and yeah, as Sam says, but we have the best pitcher in baseball. Which one, Manoah or Gosman? Because both are in the top 3 for odds for Cy Young. Barros is definitely subscribed to this channel. Only like Terry still likes him. Hey, I hope he does subscribe to the channel, but no. I do believe in Barrios. What his career has said, what he's done over his career speaks for itself. A rough year, yes. Angels, good hitting team versus righties. So I am taking kind of a risk here, taking the Blue Jays, but I just like the way they're playing, and I think they get the win here when it's all said and done. Bryant, you probably disagree, but hey, that's okay. That's what happens. We can't agree on everything. Barrios and Sandoval, what do you think here?
Real quick before we actually start this, can I get my best bet in? My best bet includes the Yankees, and that game starts here in like 20 minutes.
Sure.
Yeah. It's my best bet's gonna be the Yankees and Padres money lines. And that is at plus 235, 245.
All right. And yeah, so I guess
everything else is fine.
Yeah. Well, my best bet starts in about half an hour.
We should be done by then, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think here?
Man, you're gonna hate me. Oh my goodness. I'm looking. I got a note card full of stuff that I don't like about the Jays in this matchup. But every single one of them ties back to Jose Barrios. The Blue Jays have lost 3 of his last 4 starts. His ERA and his expected ERA have a difference of like 2.5 runs. So ultimately, despite the fact that he is like relatively, his numbers don't look that bad. He's been extremely lucky. His ERA is at a 4.83. His expected ERA is like supposed to be like somewhere close to like 6.47, almost like 7. So he's gotten extremely lucky. He doesn't strike that many guys out. His K rate's only at 15%. And the big one is his FIP and his Sierra are both in the 4s. So he's giving up runs. He's giving up, like I said, he's walking guys. He's giving up home runs. I cannot for the life of me. I can't get behind him here. Like, there's no way. He's given up 7 home runs, which, like, out of like the starting pitchers is like 43rd that qualify in terms of it qualify for most home runs given up. So with that being said, I like the Angels money line. I think minus 133 is a really good price. So I'll be willing to take that. But my two best bets in this particular matchup are minus minus a half at plus 105 for the F5 run line. What's up, Richie? And I also like the Angels run line at plus 160. Uh, I'm going for I'm swinging for the fences with this Angels matchup. I think that Sandoval is a really solid pitcher. He's not getting the pub that he probably deserves because he's on an offensive team that has two of the most popular players in the entire sport. So he's kind of just floating under the radar. But I mean, if you look at it, last year, this year, I mean, he pitched really well last year. I remember he went to LA and outdueled Urias of the Dodgers. And right now he has a 1.79 ERA. He's got a K rate of 23%. The only thing that's kind of worrisome is he has a 3.79 walks per nine. But I don't think that that's too big of a deal when you consider that his FIP is 2.55. So it kind of levels itself out there. It's the Angels for me, and I'm getting them at plus 160. I got to take it. I got to. I agree. I agree with Jax. I do think he turns it around at some point. But let's not hope it's tonight. Let's hope it's against someone else.
Hey. But yeah, I just want to throw this out there. Tyler Mahle is pitching a no-hitter right now against the Giants.
I'm so glad I'm off the Giants for the foreseeable future. They have screwed me out of so much money over the last like 3 days.
If Mahle can have a no hitter, well, it's not done yet, but I'm on the over in that game, so I'm gonna keep saying no hitter, hoping that a whole bunch of runs come here. But it's 1-0 Reds, 2-0 now Reds, bottom of the sixth. And it's Cobb and Tyler Mahle. So if Mahle can have a no hitter against the Giants, then Barrios can come out here and have a good game against the Angels. So that's what I had to say about this game. But no, hey, one of us will be happy. I totally don't blame you. The Angels have great hitting against righties, definitely a pitching advantage. But luckily, upsets happen. Look at Verlander losing the other night. Look at Musgrove losing yesterday. So hopefully this is the upset of the day. But we'll go on to the next game. Here's another dog that I'm backing today. The Houston Astros, Luis Garcia, minus 150, are heading to Seattle to face Gonzalez, plus 130, a total of 8 in this one. The Astros have kind of hit a little snag here. Seattle obviously has won the last 2 games. Gonzalez has won his last 2 games. One really good game in Toronto. 5 hits, 1 earned run, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts in 6 innings. And he won his last game against Oakland, where he went 5.1 innings, had 8 hits and 5 earned runs. Yet he was still able to win the game. Oakland does hit lefties better than righties. Luis Garcia here, he has lost his last 2 games, giving up 5 hits in 4 innings, 5 hits in 5 innings, 2 earned runs, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, 3 walks. So he hasn't really been anything special here. I think there's value on the Mariners, plus 130. So I took them to win the game. Another dog that I like today. Bryant, Astros and Mariners. What do you think here?
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I am very uncomfortable in this game. I got screwed by Verlander, man, and that Verlander pick very. It really upsets me when like guys that you like can peg as like cash cows and guys you depend on, especially the pitchers. They let you down. Don't get me wrong, it's going to happen over the course of a season. I just did not expect it to be against this Mariners team, considering the way that they've looked for the better part of like 2 weeks now. I just wasn't expecting that. and I was really upset. And I also was upset that they just couldn't even score against Chris Flexen, who's been horrible this year. That might be even more surprising than Verlander getting touched up. But I'm going back to the Astros as well. They are like my diehard enemies. But since I've gotten into sports betting, they've also made me a hefty amount of money. So I'm not going to sit there and act like I don't look to them every day. I see them on the slate and try to figure out how I can back them. With that being said, I like Garcia here. I like him much more than I like Marco Gonzalez. I like the Astros F5 run line minus a half. Garcia's been pretty good outside of, I think, that one bad start against the Red Sox in which he got lit up. But all things considered, outside of that, he has been a very, very solid pitcher. So I feel like they've got to. The Astros have got to get to Gonzalez. He's a lefty. They hit lefties well. They've routinely hit lefties well the last few years. Gonzalez isn't a hard throwing lefty. On top of that, some of his advanced numbers look very bad. His whip is 1.50. He doesn't strike anyone out. He has a K rate of 14%. And his FIP is 5.91, and his Sierra is at a 4.99. None of those things are good things to look at. And and then also to take into consideration, he's also given up quite a few home runs as well. I like the Astros in a get right spot, man. They've lost these last two games. They've struggled. They have struggled severely. But I like Garcia to right the ship, and I like for them to get to Gonzalez early, help us cash this F5 run line minus a half at minus 115 on my book. And I also think there's value if you want to do like a team total parlay, which is something that I'm considering with the Angels and the Dodgers. I think that the team total over 4 and a team total over 3.5 are considerations here in this game. So yeah.
All right, and we'll actually get to that Dodgers game right now. Tyler Anderson and the Dodgers minus 200 are facing Zach Davies and the Diamondbacks plus 170. A total of 9 in this one. Anderson had one really bad game against the Phillies. Otherwise, he's pitched pretty well. Zach Davies does not like facing the Dodgers and has not really pitched all that well this year. Dodgers money line I have in parlays. That's basically how I'm tackling this game. Is looking at the Dodgers to win. The minus 1.5, minus 135. I don't like taking run lines at that price really. So I'll back the Dodgers and Anderson to win, but that's about it. Bryant, Dodgers and Diamondbacks. What do you think here?
Yeah, I'm with you on this. I'm looking at a team total. I got the Dodgers over 4.5. And I like the Dodgers to win. I'm gonna keep it short, sweet. I don't really find any value in like betting this too extraordinary in any other way. I like Tyler Anderson. I think he's a pretty solid pitcher for them. But I don't know. I don't want to get too invested in this, and then the Diamondbacks pull a Diamondback and win this game. So I'm just gonna keep it simple and go with the Dodgers to win. I got a little money line parlay, and I'm just gonna root for 5 runs from the Dodgers. That's it.
I like it. I will move on to the second last game of the night. The Pittsburgh Pirates plus 160 in San Diego, minus 180, total of 7. Darn you, Padres! Darn you! That could have been like a plus 20 unit night, or actually no, sorry, it would have been like a plus 25 unit night, something like that. But hey, I'll take the plus 9 units and move on. But the Padres hurt me yesterday. I think this is a great bounce back spot for them. The one thing I do like, the first 5 under 4. Contreras has pitched well. Obviously, so has Gore. And this one, I think we kind of see another low scoring game, especially in the early parts. So I have Pittsburgh, San Diego, first 5 under 4 at minus 121. And then I also have San Diego money line and parlays. I think they fix things here against the Pirates tonight. Obviously, it was a 3-run blast in the 9th inning that cost them the game last night. And I think they definitely remember that going into today. And they bounce back here. I would also hope that Machado will be in the lineup today. They left 16 guys on base yesterday. I watched them go and have bases loaded 3 times and not score any. I think if you had Machado in the lineup last night, I think it probably would have been a little bit different. So I'm hoping Machado's back in here. If he isn't, then I really love the first 4 under, the first 5 under, even more. But I'm sure he will be. So I like the Padres to bounce back here. Bryant, Pirates, Padres. What do you think here?
Pirates, Padres. I've obviously have the Padres in my best bet. I think this is a very good bounce back spot for them. I think that I like them on the run line best. Contreras is actually pretty solid, all things said. But this is more a product of I think the Padres are just a flat out better team, better bullpen, better lineup, even without Manny Machado. Like you said, it would be a very big boost if Machado is playing today. And I think that the line kind of reflects that. I feel like if he was playing, you wouldn't be getting like -1 anything. It would probably be closer to like -2, 210. But yeah, I like the Padres run line at +110. And like I said, I've already have that paired with the Yankees money line, or the Padres money line paired with the Yankees money line for my best bet on the show. So obviously, I'm rooting for the Padres here. I think if you're going to go for the true value play, I think it's the Padres to get maybe 2 or 3 runs early on and Gore to settle in, and then they cash the F5 run line at -125. I think that's probably your safest bet that also has like some sort of value. Yeah, but other than that, it's just win, and preferably win by 2. So I can get the money line win and the run line win. So
All right. And we'll jump into the last game of the night. The night game. Wheeler against Bassett. Phillies against the Mets. -105 for Wheeler. -115 for Bassett. A total of 7.5. Are we going to get the Bassett that we got earlier on in the year, or are we going to get the Bassett that we got in his last start? That's the main question here. Oh, and the no-hitter's gone. I'm sorry to all Reds fans out there.
I also would like to add that first batter of the game in the Rockies Nationals went yard. Rockies are already up 1-0. I hope you tailed me on that pick. That's already a good start in the right direction for us to cash the money line and the F5 run line on behind Kyle Freeland. But yeah.
Hey, there you go. Good one. In this one here, I am taking the New York Mets. I'll back the Mets at home against a right-handed pitcher. Yes, Wheeler's been good, but I like the Mets in this spot. I didn't take the Mets team total today, but it was absolutely beautiful yesterday. I like taking it versus righties. In this spot here, Sunday night game, I can see this being a little bit close, a little bit low scoring, possibly, but I do like the Mets to get the victory. So I have the Mets money line in this one. Bryant, Phillies, Mets. What do you think here?
Yeah, I like the second best team in New York to get a win. That's the Mets, in case anyone was wondering. Oh, speaking of.
Yeah.
I like the Mets here though.
Nice one, Ricky.
That's dope. I think Bassett is pitching. I think Bassett is pitching actually pretty solidly, comparable to Wheeler. Honestly, I'm looking at their like some of their numbers. They're a little bit of advanced numbers, and they're all honestly fairly similar. You've got Wheeler's got the 3.49 ERA. I think that's the biggest difference in the two, compared to Bassett's 2.77. But the WHIP is 1.9 or 1.09, 1.14. The Ks per nine is at a 9.06, 9.54. K rate is at 25%, 26%. And like walks per nine are both at 240, 233. Basically, all things said, at this point, it becomes a matter of you go down the line. So the pitching's about even. I think the Mets have a better collective, cohesive lineup than the Phillies do, top to bottom. Oh, I mean, that's fine, but we still have the best record. It is what it is. Yeah, I like the Mets here. I think they're the better team, and they have the better bullpen. So when these pitchers go out, let's say that it's a wash, in terms of it, the Mets have far and away the better bullpen. I will never back this Phillies team full game the rest of this year because of that bullpen. I'm sorry, I've made like a blood pact with myself. I just refuse.
It's been like 2 years for me since.
Yeah, it's like the only full game thing that I will do is I will go full game team totals. I am never backing the Phillies to do anything full game this year with that bullpen. I'm sorry. So because of that, I have to go with the Mets money line here, and it's a -115. That's a very good price. A very, very good price. Give me the Mets on the money line, and let's go Mets.
All right. That is the slate. We will get to best bets right away. And we'll just go. I'll just break it all down here. Dog of the day. For me, it's the Blue Jays. Nick and Tim are taking Miami. Bryant, is there a dog you like today?
You took the Miami Heat. Oh, I was like, yeah, Miami, the Marlins. What?
Oh, no, Miami Heat. Uh-oh.
Oh, don't tell me that. Don't tell me that. I guess I really should have put in I guess I should have put in the Rockies, man, because I was very confident in that, and that started off really well. But honestly, you know what? If I'm gonna take a little bit of a gamble here, just for craps and giggles. Oh wait, never mind. The game's already started. Yeah, I don't have a dog for the day then.
All right. All right, we'll go on to the over under. For me, Pittsburgh, San Diego, first 5 under 4. Luckily, the show started at 12:30 and not earlier, or I might have chosen that San Francisco, Cincinnati over. So good scheduling by me for this one. We'll see what happens with Pittsburgh, San Diego. Nick is taking Angels, Toronto over 8.5, and Tim is taking the Mets and Phillies over 7.5. What do you think here, Bryant? Any totals?
Yeah, I am going with the LA Toronto over 4.5, I think, for the first 5. Wait, hold on one second. Let me just make sure I got it right. Yeah, it's over 4.5, first 5.
All right. Best bets, best parlay piece. For me, Cleveland first 5 money line parlayed with Minnesota first 5 money line plus 131. Best parlay piece, Minnesota Twins money line. Nick is taking Baltimore first 5 money line as his best bet. Cleveland Guardians money line as his parlay piece. Tim is trying to become my new best friend. He's taking the Toronto Blue Jays on the run line -1.5, plus 170 as his best bet. Mets plus 1.5 as his parlay piece. Bryant, you already said previously Yankees and San Diego both on the money line plus 245 is your best bet. What are you thinking here for parlay piece?
My parlay piece is going to be the Dodgers. They have been cash cows for me with this parlay piece. Helped me build this lead. I'm going to keep going back to them today. Yeah.
All right. And speaking of the lead, I will just bring up all the current standings since the show is done here before we head on out. Yeah, those are the standings. Tim and Bryant fighting for first place in best bets. Bryant leading parlay pieces. Bryant leading dog of the day. And Nick has taken first place in over under. That is the show. Best luck to everybody today. If you liked the new layout, let us know in the comments. If you liked like having the odds up and how we did the show today, I'm interested in everyone's comments. And moving forward, we'll see what we do. But if you like the show, definitely hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. We appreciate all the support. And we'll see you again tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern, for another episode of Getting Wild with Terry and Friends. Have a good one, guys.